All right, Dave, thank you. An estimated 10,000 workers are needed for data center construction and operations. Today, Holmes Community College, Ridgeland, and Amazon Web Services held a training graduation.
As Rosalind Anderson reports, among them is one graduate overcoming his past to hopefully find a future in tech.
Holmes Community College, Ridgeland, and Amazon Web Services graduation ends 4 weeks of training to become data center builders and operators. 18 people completed the course. Among them is Devin Hawkins, who was released from prison last year after serving 16 years. This is a new start for him.
I have an interview with AWS. That's why I've been working so hard. I obtained my fiber 123 install technician certifications. Anything is possible if you set your mind to it. You can overcome the obstacles, you can beat the odds.
Minutes after graduating, the certified trainees walked into a job fair where companies supporting AWS offered employment opportunities.
You can do whatever you want.
Hawkins is eager to work for AWS, but joined his peers in talking with other companies and sharing his resume. AWS officials say it is the largest cloud hosting provider internationally and is going into communities to find their workforce.
Our commitment to putting those roots into the community starts with training local Mississippians. People from Jackson, but people from Greenville and Greenwood, right? From the Delta, like people that come from like the cradle of music, right? There's so much opportunity in the Magnolia State, and Amazon's committed to growing that.
AWS expects to hire thousands of workers as construction continues on data centers throughout the state. In Ridgeland, Rosalind Anderson, 3 on your side.